You started with YouthPad about 15 years ago, then went on to become the Chief Business Officer at Flipkart, and then, of course, now you're doing Curefoods. What has your biggest learning been through it all?
I think learning, one thing which I really talk about is that everything takes a lot of time and things can get very boring, and that's when you have to endure. Because a lot of entrepreneurs I see, a lot of younger entrepreneurs I speak to as a virtue of being angel investor, is that they're looking for a lot of action and very quick results. And maybe I was also like that earlier, maybe 10 years back, but at least in the last 8-9 years, it's figured that any outcome will take multiple decades, 10 to 20 years. So if you start off with that mindset, then you won't be in a hurry in the initial years. And being in a hurry in initial years is not good, because that's where the foundation is being set, the building blocks are being made. So I believe that for any success or any outcome, mediocre outcome, great outcome, you have to plan for a 10 to 20 year journey in a startup. And I talk about it a lot. I talk about the fact that people who can endure boredom are the most powerful people, because they are at it every single day, and if there's a game of attrition, they'll win, So I really believe that it is a very long-term journey and you have to build it that way.
What is the biggest misconception of being a founder?
Oh, I think the biggest misconception is that people think it's really sexy and really, hunky and dory. I think it's the toughest thing. I get a lot of questions. I get to meet a lot of young kids at campus when I'm talking to them. They all want to be entrepreneurs. And I start off by saying, don't, because I tell them that you'll get a good job if you're an IIT and IIM and other colleges. Why do you want to do it? How does it match your dreams? And then, of course, there is this whole misconception, Sonia, that you'll make your first million within first 5 years. I think 80% founders will never make their first million, So that's the misconception which they have, which can be cleared with data. But they still have that positive thing that, okay, I can succeed. But they don't know what it takes to succeed, because startup is extremely tough. Of course, I also motivate and also push a lot of people to start up, and I invest in a lot of young entrepreneurs. But I think most people underestimate the effort it takes, because your success is dependent on the customers, the team that you build, the investors that you seek, and the outcome that you want. Because outcome is, again, whether it's a IPO or a sellout or a merger, it is such a complex thing. I think only 1 in 100 companies can get the desired outcome. So I think if I have to do some education in the ecosystem, I want to talk about the fact that join an early stage startup. There, the success chances are so much higher, because you'll get your salary, you'll get your ESOPs. And if there is a good outcome, then you will make money and then probably become an entrepreneur.